Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches.
Merry Christmas, I guess, or Happy Holidays.
Merry Christmas. I don't know why.
Merry Christmas.
I don't know why it went there, but it did.
I know that show you wet anywhere. Merry Poppins.
Merry Christmas, it is.
It is. We'll talk about accents.
Oh boy, will we. But first things first, shout out to our Patreon supporters. $5 a month gives you early access. $10 gets you access to our viewing parties. I apologize for the Princess Switch viewing party, or you're welcome. I don't know. I'm not sure I remember
blackout.
The end.
I'll have to fill in the details.
It wasn't that bad.
I'll have to fill in the details.
We were going to try and get our shit together to do a postcard again, but alas, I did not. So I thought maybe we'll do it for spring. We can see. Let us know if the postcard was a fun, enticing thing for you.
Like an Easter. I'm trying to think of what the.
I got it.
Well, I got it.
We can do a summer camp postcard.
Did we not already do said postcard?
No.
Great, let's do it.
Love it.
Hello, mother. Hello, father.
Hello, father. Here I am at Camp
Wakanda? That's back
Camp Granada. Granada? What?
Ricotta.
Camp Ricotta. Yep.
Here I am at Camp Granada.
Camp Arawak.
Yes, exactly. Second thing second, shout out to our wine sponsor, Wink. Go to trywink.com/moviebitches. You can get $22 off your first month of wine. Also, you can give it as a gift. You could give a gift card.
Great gift.
Great gift. Especially like a digital thing where you can be like, bloop, I forgot, but here, Merry Christmas, box of wine.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
It'll start showing up in the new year. Here's your wine.
God, yeah.
Perfect.
Yes, love that. Third things third, make sure to subscribe, share, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, click that little thumbs up button, comment, tell us, did you like any of these Christmas movies?
I liked a few of them.
I liked a few of them. We'll talk about it, but I guess let's just lay the groundwork. Overall, as a theme, I found that the non-Hallmark movies, they're getting better. They're picking it up. Netflix still pretty shitty, but some of them are getting better. They're like real movies now. Like Love Hard was pretty much a real movie. And I was like, okay.
I texted you and said, that was almost a real movie.
Yeah. I was like, wow. I think that might be one of the best movies I've seen on Netflix.
Oh. I thought you were going to say this year. And I was like, Andrew.
Oh, no.
Andrew. Whoa.
I mean, I still don't think I've laughed as hard as I have in House of Gucci. So, there's that to talk about. But, we're not doing that because it's not a Christmas movie.
First up, we're going to talk about, mostly I am going to talk about, since I finished the runtime of the film, a Christmas movie, Christmas, which I don't know what kind of place you were in. I didn't think this was as bad as you did, because at least it was kind of meta. At a certain point, it really just became a Hallmark movie. But basically,
was it not?
No, but the first, 20, 30 minutes, there was lots of meta in-jokes. Basically, two sisters, one of them is obsessed with Christmas movies and is watching the same one over and over, and their lives are kind of blah, and they're, not cheery, happy, normal.
Sure.
Everything's great, Christmas. And through a series of wishes, and I don't even remember, there was a magic Christmas wish and maybe an electrical fire? Fairy dust, Christmas. They throw away a shitty wreath that then, because she's bad at decorating, and then it
There was also maybe a magic Santa. I think Santa was real. Didn't they walk across him on the street?
They made a wish. Oh, that's right. So this, if you're at all interested, checks every single box on our drinking game, so I thought that was fun,
Yeah.
Basically, the younger sister, who's kind of the cheerier, more optimistic one, wishes that she could be in a Christmas movie, for Christmas, a perfect Christmas. Guess what? They both have a psychological break and share a acid trip together where they go to said Christmas movie. For some reason, they constantly fall asleep in the same area, I think because of budgetary reasons. They both fall asleep on the couch.
On the couch. Yeah.
And you're like, okay. And then they wake up in bed together and they're like, oh.
Wait, did you go to bed with your hair and makeup done?
Did you go to bed with your hair and makeup done?
Oh my God, you look fabulous.
Is your makeup perfect?
You look fabulous.
Why is my makeup
Did you go to bed with makeup, full face of makeup on and your hair done? Like, what's happening? So there was like funny little things that, were meta that were going on. Their grandma
helped me plan our annual Christmas bake-off while we decorate the tree and figure out who's sending Millie all those gifts on the 12 days of Christmas. So many birds.
Exposition dump lady who's just like, well, didn't you know? So-and-so's back in town and we're having the Christmas festival and this is going on and blah, 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 blah. And you should go down and make cookies with blah, blah, blah. It was just like...
Yeah.
His brother is a Christmas party planner and he was going to plan the festival. But he has to go spend Christmas with his great aunt Agnes.
Of course.
Of course.
And now we have no one to plan their Christmas festival.
So,
also, dead parents. Also, like, there definitely does. Santa's
every
real.
single,
check these boxes.
Colorful peacoats. Like, every single one you could think of. Drink. Like, although you might have a blackout experience a la Princess Switch 3. So at the very beginning, she's a artist who works at an ad agency of some sort, and her boss doesn't get her and doesn't even know her name. And I just thought this was really funny. He goes, I need that press release right now. And they're like, got it. And then they just leave and like go home for Christmas. And I was like, what?
I need the revised draft press release ASAP. I want to get it out today.
Yes, I'm sorry, yes. Come on, let's go. I've got to get ready for a date. On Christmas Eve? Yeah.
So then the older sister is sort of more cynical and felt more like a real human woman.
Yeah.
Put on hat. Put on hat.
Hi, darling. Good job, Robot Nomi.
And, she is like flirting with this baker and he's like leaving her notes everywhere and she's like, you're a stalker. This is like, there was stuff. Oh, I don't think you got that far probably. He starts like leaving her all these handmade cards.
They're stalkery and weird and it's too much.
Okay, I can take a hint. No more cards.
I mean, it's not a hint. I am explicitly telling you to stop.
The younger sister's like, oh, that's so sweet. And the older sister is like, why does he know where I am all the time? He's clearly a stalker. This is terrifying. And so at one point, they clearly couldn't film in a real, I don't know, this was so weird. The floor plan of this, so they're asleep in bed. And then she hears something at the window. In your mind, you're like, well, they're clearly upstairs in a bedroom. And she sees a note, like taped to the window. Then she goes outside to the front door. You didn't watch this part. This was later on in the movie. And the note is taped to the front window of the house, which would imply that they were literally sleeping in like the front room.
In like the living room, again, where they fell asleep. Maybe?
I think they had one room to film in. Because it was so bizarrely, and I was like, wait, why would you ever have that is so not feng shui, like to have your headboard right where the front window of your house is? What's going on? Oh my God, and that like weird fake stone pastel door decoration of theirs.
I don't think I got to that part.
They basically live in a gingerbread house, and it was just very bizarre.
So to be fair, from my side of things, I did watch, I watched until they got to the Christmas movie part of it all.
When the handsome, famous prince shows up, who's her boyfriend, who is like already all that stuff.
Chad Matthew Monroe.
Vaguely? I don't think I got there. They were like in a square.
She has a boyfriend that, already exists in her mental break fantasy. But he seems like a real serial killer. Like, she should run away from him.
Hello, Eve.
And who are you this time?
Russell Clark. The boyfriend.
Something about what he was doing behind the eyes was freaking me out. But anyway, he's like a prince, and he's famous, and he's a bachelor, and he's all of these things, and he's perfect, and whatever.
Yeah. So I was watching with a friend who does not often watch these Christmas movies, and so I think her tolerance was much lower. The like Hallmarkisms of it all was not happening for her. So I probably could have finished it if it was on my own.
I think
but it wasn't as good as I wish it was. Like, I wish if they'd put more budget into it, it could have been like a great concept. And instead it was just fun.
Yeah, I think it was a great idea, and they did the most with it. At a certain point, it just stopped being meta and just became a normal one, which was less exciting. but because it was literally like drinking game, check, check. Oh my God, wait, and they're making fun of this, and they're doing this, and they're like, it was kind of made for us in a way.
Yeah, I love that. I don't think I told you, I came up with this brilliant idea, which maybe we'll cut because I don't know if I want everyone to hear it, but we'll decide. For a cannabis Christmas.
Oh, I think that movie's already coming out.
Is it really? Cloris
Leachman's last movie. It's called like baking, like Wake and Bake Christmas or something, or and they're like making, you're tapped. Get out of the house. Guess. You're tapped.
Right? I wonder, okay, well, so my idea was that like, someone brings like special brownies and they don't realize it and they eat a bunch of the Christmas cookies and then they get so stoned that they like have a hallucination dream where they're in a Christmas movie, but then it turns out they were just high the whole time.
Well, that was reminding me of a different movie I watched that we will talk about, a horror Christmas movie. So it's called High Holiday.
Of course.
High Holidays. In order to lighten up her uptight family, the free-spirited daughter of a conservative politician brings weed-infused salad dressing to the Christmas Eve dinner. Chaos ensues when everyone gets unknowingly high, revealing the family's innermost secrets. So, close to what you were saying?
I mean...
Ish.
Wow. I feel like I drugged my family because they're intolerable is not really a great starting off point, but...
Not great,
Not great, Bob.
Oh, also, there was fugly Christmas-themed jewelry, drink. A veteran comes home, like, randomly, drink. Like, there was a lot of really fun, dumb stuff in this, and I would say if you are there to, like, go, look. Oh, look, oh. It was perfectly fine, and I thought that the actresses were cute, and it was fine. I liked it. We really need that press release. You ready to go home? Yeah. It was so weird.
I want to get it out today.
Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry. Yes. Come on. Let's go.
Anyway, next up, we're going to talk about, I'm going to talk about, I told Andrew he probably should not watch this one, a Shudder original, a Shudder exclusive, The Advent Calendar, or Le Calendar.
Le Calendrier.
This movie is good. It had ideas. The tone was like it would go from something so dark and upsetting and then be like, the tone would shift to Wish Upon and you'd be like, what?
Oh, right, because this was, they sent us the thing and I sent it to Avaryl and I was like, is it Wish Upon but Christmas edition? And
okay, so the answer is yes, but French. So, what's really weird is if you didn't know anything about either of Wish Upon or this movie and you saw them, you would think Advent Calendar came out first and was like a fairly well-received foreign horror film that then they Americanized and turned into a hilarious comedy mess. So that's what was really, really weird because there was a lot of similarities to Wish Upon that I was like, wait now, but this feels like, but it's better, but it's also worse because I would much rather watch Wish Upon any day.
Your dad is like serious hot sauce, like sriracha hot.
So yes, it's basically this woman who's paralyzed from the waist down. And her friend shows up and she's real like fun and has a perm and she's like, hey bitch, I just got back from Germany. I know it's your birthday. What's up? And she gives her this creepy wooden advent calendar that's very disturbing looking. And the movie is like, it's German, Germany. Like it's like all this like demonic stuff and they're like, German. Like on the back it says, and this seemed like maybe it was lost in translation, the sort of subtleness of it, but on the back it says, if you dump it, I will kill you. And so basically every day there's a different candy, but it also has a voice box. So at midnight, somewhere, we don't know, it's at midnight of the, whatever day, it starts in German, because it's a German advent calendar. It's like, it's midnight, time for the next candy, or something to that effect.
Es ist Mitternacht. Du musst jetzt öffnen. Es ist Mitternacht. Du musst jetzt öffnen.
And it just loops until she eats it. Oh, because there's 3 rules to the advent calendar. One of them's like, follow all the rules. And you're like, well, that seems redundant. One of them is, if you start eating the candy, you have to eat them all. You can't, like, if you start this process, you can't stop. And the other one is don't dump the advent calendar or I'll kill you, which is also redundant because it says it hugely wood burned into the back. But anyway, so each candy is different and it sort of represents something different to her, or there's little notes, or there's things that are connecting to her time and place. She has a little less blame put on, like in Wish Upon, like having her physically and verbally be like, I wish for this, really makes her way more complicit, where this is more so like, well, this demon is gonna, there's a demon. This demon is gonna murder me unless I eat this candy, which will cause like a monkey's paw kind of bad effect or whatever.
Right. But, I mean, that's more Hitchcockian, right? More interesting, more like...
It definitely had more going on. They keep joking throughout. They're like, oh, maybe all this candy's laced with drugs and you're just like having every kind of party drug, every day or whatever, and it's making you hallucinate these things. And I was like, actually, I kind of love that.
I mean, that's like my idea, where it's just, she was just high the whole time, or on, different psychedelics each day.
Right. So, I mean, I won't give too much away, because I think if you like horror movies and you're all intrigued, it was good. Like, the main actress was great. Visually, there was a few choices that were, let's just say lilac isn't the most spooky of colors. It was clearly added in post. You couldn't have picked it.
Debbie. Pastels?
Pastels?
Debbie. What? Pastels?
And there seemingly was no reason. Oh, and her stepmother is literally dressed like a wicked stepmother, like with the hair and everything. And it was just like,
oh my God. Oh, did she bring it from Germany? No, it was the friend.
The friend. Oh, and then we find out the friend stole it. Like, it was crazy. But anyway, I think it could have leaned in ever so slightly more to the dreamy, like be even vaguer almost. Because it was real like time and place, and she was losing time and visions of things. And it could have been like go all out and just be a really visually wacky, like, did I just take some party drugs and didn't realize it while watching this movie? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that. I would say you could watch it, but it's definitely rated R and it's definitely a horror movie.
Great.
So
that's helpful. That's good. That's why I did not watch it.
Yeah, I was wavering back and forth because I would be like, oh no. And then I go, what? Well, it was sort of, I mean, the friend is sort of that friend that you're like, well, this helped the plot get going, but thanks for this advent calendar that's threatening to kill me multiple times over. And then the first candy she eats, like the wrapper is like, once again, if you don't eat all of these candies, I will kill you. And I was just like, thanks for this.
Well, I guess we're fucked now. I mean, you gotta eat them all.
Oh, the one thing that drove me crazy, at a certain point she's trying to put together, serial killer wall style, well, this candy did that, and that candy did this, and this was the cause of that. But instead of like a wall with pins and stuff, she's got this like a laminate table that she decides she's gonna use permanent marker and write all the numbers on, and then did not care
Maybe it was dry erase marker.
It wasn't.
Oh.
Did not care for it. But then she got Post-its to be like, oh, this was that. And I was like, you could have done Post-its with the numbers too. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I guess at this point, the table wasn't really her concern, since multiple people near her were dying, and there was a lilac demon that was coming out of, there was
lilac
one part
demon. I like
where
that.
Lilac demon. There was one part when she gets a boyfriend, and he throws the advent calendar away because he's like, oh, this is bad, it's bad stuff keeps happening. So but he doesn't know about the I'll kill you part. So he throws it away into like a lake, and then this lilac, everything turns lilac, and this lilac demon just like bump, 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 like comes out of the water, and his reaction is just like, oh, no. And then he gets in the car, like he's nonplussed. And I was like, I feel like that needed a bigger reaction, guys. Huh. I should go get in the car. Very strange. So anyway, that was Advent Calendar.
Love it.
Maybe do a double feature with Wish Upon and Advent Calendar. Because there's like a scene in a bathtub where someone died. There was a lot of little things where I was like, okay. No sexy saxophone though, unfortunately.
Quick commercial break and we'll be back with more. Ho, 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 ho. That was a horrible, lazy Santa. I am so sorry. Wow.
I really like the more. It reminded me of something weird.
Angela, more.
A little bit. It was sing-songy in that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Anyway.
Well, on a completely different note, should we talk about A Castle for Christmas?
The polar opposite, if you will. I would love to talk about A Castle for Christmas. I liked this one. I mean, it was perfectly standard, but obviously I'm going to be a sucker for Carrie Elways. And I like Brooke Shields. I liked her hats and her outfits. And there was Scottish, porn.
Yep.
I mean, like...
Not literally.
Porn of Scotland, not...
Yes.
Scottish people in a porn. Scottish countryside porn. Trying to figure out how to... Anyway.
Yeah, Scottish landscape castle porn. Anyway, that still sounds like... It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There was lots of Scotland. It was pretty.
So yes, A Castle for Christmas. It's on Netflix.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of like, ooh, I'm ready to storm your,
portcullis.
The portcullis.
Swim around your moat, yeah.
Oh my God, exactly.
It'd be good.
Anyway, okay, so Castle for Christmas, produced by MPCA, who does all of the Netflix fancy ones. And they also did the one last year, the Safari Christmas in Africa, Christmas for the elephants, whatever it was called.
We've been talking about that one for the past week, and both of us can't remember what it's called, and neither one of us bothered to look it up.
Nope.
It was something about Christmas in the Wild, or...
That's what it was!
Was that what it was?
That's what it was!
I'm still not convinced. I don't know if that's the right title, but it was something like that. The one with Kristen Davis and Rob Lowe. Yeah. That one to me was more complicated, messy, I just remember there being more interpersonal, what? That doesn't make sense. Huh? What was that choice? What? And this one was streamlined, succinct.
Yeah.
I got it.
I got it! All right, you can't use that, okay? That was a crazy person, and you cannot use it.
And it didn't take a hard tonal shift where it was like, poaching in Africa, look at this dying baby elephant. It didn't go there, which, important message. Poaching is bad. I promote elephants, but boy, was that a left turn in that movie where we were like, let us go. Oh, no.
So, but more or less the same plot. It was kind of just like a copy-paste where it was like, okay, we'll get 2 stars that aren't so famous, but were famous. And
2 names of people that we'd like to see how they're aging.
Yep. And we'll put them in a exotic location of a destination, right? She's trying to find herself. It's very Eat, Pray, Love, Under the Tuscan Sun vibes. Yes. Yeah. The exposition at the beginning of this was so absurd.
Oh boy. Well, okay, so first of all, I'd just like to say, it's directed by Mary Lambert, who, for some reason, I am a champion
of. The singer?
No, she directed the Pet Sematary movies and a whole bunch of music videos and The In Crowd, which is not good. But for whatever
Adam
reason...
Lambert.
Adam Lambert. Wow, Andrew, wow. Wow. Can you imagine if Adam Lambert directed this? There'd be a lot more karaoke at the bar. A lot more karaoke at the bar. For whatever reason, I'm just a fan of her aesthetic. And, this was a pretty standard movie that the directing wasn't, a standout. But it was a perfectly competent film. And I was like, look at the greenery. Anyway, Mary Lambert, brava.
Yeah. Obviously, in part, just the setting and the vibe and castles and whatever, and it's Scottish, but it did kind of remind me of Wild Mountain Thyme in terms of we're at this cute little cottage town and isn't this fun?
Yes, we have to talk about the beginning of this movie more specifically, Drew Barrymore, that might be the whole review, honestly.
And also the end.
I will get into it. I was very confused. Did they just like run out of time?
But
we'll get there. So it starts and there's like a montage of all of her books, and she's written all of these books, and I don't remember their names.
She's like a romance novelist or whatever.
Of sorts. And she's going to go on the Drew Barrymore show because she's in hot water for something that she wrote. And I was like,
and there's protests outside of the studio.
If you wonder what we're talking about, I'd say that Sophie Brown has a whole lot of unhappy fans out there.
This is weird.
She's killed off the love interest guy that's been in all the books, I guess.
Yeah.
And also recently gotten a divorce in real life, and it seems like the husband was sort of that character, and she was pissed, so she killed him off. But I've never seen, I can't think of a time when people would protest an author's choice for, oh, I'm protesting Harry Potter because I'm a Christian and that's black magic, sure.
Or because she's a TERF.
I've never seen a crowd of people protesting. I mean, I get maybe George R.R. Martin. You know what? Maybe it's more real than I'm realizing. It just seems so dumb that people were like, we hate you now. Like, she had terrible bad press as if she was a TERF or something, as if something like that she was getting canceled for, saying something horrible,
Yeah.
Instead of just like, oh, I decided as an author to kill off this character. It just seemed wild to me. It seemed like an overreaction, but whatever. I don't know.
I mean, what gives you the right to take him away?
I'm the author.
But she's getting interviewed on the Drew Barrymore show. It's an inappropriate interview. I've never actually seen the real show. I don't know if this is how she operates.
I've seen clips from it.
But it was just so like, so you recently got divorced, huh? How's that treating you?
Perhaps you're having a hard time separating your real life from the fiction in your book. What? Well, you had a rough year. Your husband left you.
It was just like really inappropriate and rude and not professional.
Especially because they claimed, like, when she brought her on, like, oh, my dear friend, or something like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me lay on you. A so-so entertainer, not much of a humanitarian, and this cat was never nobody's friend.
My good friend and best-selling author, Sophie Brown.
She was like, my best friend. Now, I have a bone to pick with you, because I'm pissed, too, about the fact that you killed off
It was so weird. Everyone, like, gangs up on her. It was very bizarre.
Very strange.
Anyway, whatever. It was weird. The whole everything related to Drew Barrymore. I think they were just so excited to have gotten Drew to do this that they were like, well, we have to use it all.
I mean,
it's hilarious.
I could have chopped him into little teeny pieces and fed him to the sharks.
We'll be right back.
We have to use every single frame that we filmed with her.
We will talk about the end credits. I cannot.
I can't. I cannot. So yes, so she escapes away to Scotland because that's where her dad grew up in a teeny tiny town called Dunbar, or the castle was called Dunbar. She goes to this tiny town, and then the entire town suddenly is like, we don't have a life. We are going to be obsessed with you.
I mean, that tracks to me. I feel like they had a knitting club that just sat around and did nothing, and now this world famous romance novelist
Danielle
shows up.
Steele
and
just like walks in like, oh my god, it's Danielle Steele. Yes. Yeah, it made more sense because she was famous. It's just kind of that cliche in most rom-coms. It's like, I don't have a life. My life revolves around you, main character.
Sorry to always make you revisit my backstory.
That's what I'm here for. Sure you don't want to meet up?
No.
Okay, that's it for me then. Bye.
Bye, bestie.
Yes, and then she runs into Carrie Elway, who is a curmudgeonly old duke, it turns out. But he doesn't want to be like the other dukes, and he cares about, social equity and
I mean, I appreciate it. He was like, we're into regenerative farming. I'm trying to reuse whatever I can. I'm trying to help out the common folk. And, I don't know. I liked him. I thought his accent was intense, but not bad. It wasn't crazy. It was just very, very Scottish, and so it kind of stuck out.
He doesn't usually like strangers.
But I thought it was very good. It wasn't like, what's this?
It wasn't like Christopher Walken.
Welcome to Ireland. My name's Tony Riley. I'm dead.
No,
Welcome to Ireland.
Yeah,
I'm dead. You know, it was not that.
It was very evidently Scottish.
Yes, and consistent.
It didn't waver. It wasn't crazy. Oh, he really went. No. I would say brava. I thought Carrie always looked great. I was excited to see him. I want him to be in more things. He's a great actor. I've always loved him. Obsessed.
Yeah.
More
I think
Carrie
this
always.
is a good lean for him too, you know?
Lean in. If you want to do a Christmas movie every year, I'm here for it. Leaning.
Love it.
Where's Bill Pullman doing these, by the way?
Leaning involves wanting and accepting. Leaning.
Yes.
Leaning
involves wanting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is this guy bothering you?
No.
Because it looks like he's leaning.
Thank you.
Love that. I also loved Carrie always on the stairs, like, you know, sword fencing, whatever. I was like, good, giving me flashbacks.
His character was much more interesting to me. She was, what's the equivalent of like a Mary Sue that's like a madam? I don't know. You know what I mean?
I don't know what any of those words mean. I mean, I do, but like, I don't.
A Mary Sue is like a female character that they're so afraid to write a woman who's quote unquote weak that she's just good at everything and she just nails it. Why do I know this? Because I'm fabulous, that's why. And so it's just kind of like boring. And for her, she was so independently wealthy. She had no character development. She was just like, I'm nice. Aren't I nice? Do you want me to pay off all your mortgages? Poor people? And I was like, whoa, that is inappropriate.
Don't worry about your land, because I'm paying off all of your mortgages.
Oh, no.
I'll work everything out when I get back to the States.
Oh, sorry, you can't do that.
Consider it a gift.
I was waiting for it to be like, oh, maybe she bought the castle, and then because she bought the castle, then it became a newsworthy thing, and then there was tourism, and then it brought, like, you know, whatever, or like she wrote about it in the book, and then that book was a seller, and then everyone wanted to go see the castle where the book was written, and so, you know, like that, all that shit. And that's what saved the town, and then she gave the land away to everyone and was like, here, feudalism is finally dead. You all can have your own land. I'm
donating it.
Yeah. I was waiting for that, and instead it was just like this weird, like,
I was
I'm
waiting
rich.
for
I don't know.
everything that she did. It's like, oh, and I bought you all these fancy outfits. Oh, and I'm going to pay off your mortgages. Oh, I got to buy a castle? Buying a castle. It was like overnight.
Right.
And I thought that was, at first I thought, oh, this is like a choice because they're going to be like, don't you realize that money isn't what it's all about and that you should grow as a person because X, Y, and Z? But it was just like, great. So glad that you've got cash on hand.
Yeah.
We love you. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So her character was like a little less than interesting, but on a whole, fun, cute, watch it with your mom, you know, one of those.
Yeah.
Decent budget.
Oh, they spent money. I mean, not as much money as Princess Switch 3, because Jesus Christ, did they spend money. But we'll get there later.
We will. Oh, wait, but we have to talk about the end, because
oh my God.
So, you know, oh, we fell in love. Oh, I broke up with you again. Oh, we fell in love. I'm sorry, darling. We're together in tartan. And
I mean, that dress, though. Yes, bitch.
I was confused, though. Was that supposed to be old?
I found it in bedroom 9.
Well, right.
It wasn't.
Nonsense. Was that supposed to be old? Because it's not.
Did you really think they went together? They don't.
When she was like, I found this in the attic, I was like, from 10 years ago? Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. There's like, whatever.
But then it's Christmas morning. Oh, we're going to have a lovely Christmas together. Oh, hi, darling. Oh, I got you this present of a necklace. Hard zoom out, and we're done. Christmas is over.
I've got a wee present for you.
And I was like, oh.
Oh.
We're going too fast. We're going to hit the wall. Oh, jeez. Now what are we going to do?
Never mind. Keep pulling back. Maybe nobody will notice.
Not even a moment of like, this necklace belonged to the Duke of so-and-so.
I had no idea what the necklace was. It didn't matter. Just boop.
Zoom out. Like, I was like, oh. And then we get, I can't call this a scene.
Bloopers.
Over the credits. Well, It's partially bloopers, but we're also gleaning information that we wouldn't have known unless it was a scene that was supposed to be at the end of the movie. And therefore, it seemed like this was a scene and they either didn't get it.
Since you were last here, it seems like your life has become a total fairy tale. You bought a castle in Scotland.
Ran out of time, and they just said, we'll just put these bloopers together.
You bought a castle in Scotland. Moved to Ireland, Scotland.
But there was like things where they were revealing information that would have been the epilogue.
Right.
Is it fair to say that you're going to become a duchess?
Wait, did we get married or do you just what?
Wait, and also
he didn't even propose.
But also, it was just bloopers of them breaking character. I don't know.
And a huge congratulations on your Juggernaut bestseller. I also don't want to say the word juggernaut. Juggernaut is a very harsh, male, masculine, not sexy, pretty, feminine, soft word.
It was so bizarre. They like... It was like there was an epilogue scene with Drew Barrymore for the Drew Show, and they just couldn't get it. And so it was like, well, like there was cuts in between weird. It was like, what is happening? I couldn't.
It was
I
a
didn't
real
know.
mystery. It was like, oh no, I thought we had one more day in the editing room. We don't. Movie's over.
Bestseller, Heart of Warrior.
It really felt like, oh, we hadn't really figured out how to conclude this. We were working on it, and then they took the movie away from us. I don't know. It was very bizarre.
Very weird.
They spent money on this movie except for, remember when they're driving around and he's showing her the other castles and it's like, extreme close-up. We are definitely driving through the Scottish countryside at this moment. And that is where we are. Definitely.
You know what's remarkable? Is how much England looks in no way like Southern California.
So I watched one that we talked about in our guessing game, an Ice Wine Christmas. Christmas in a bottle. If I heard that one times, I heard it 50.
In the movie, in the script.
In the movie, yeah.
Oh, why were they making like
in a bottle? Oh, it's
cinnamon
like
wine or something? Nutmeg
What's
wine?
that?
Were they making like nutmeg wine?
No, it's just ice wine. I think it's supposed to be just like the cheer and warmth and I don't know. It's not like actual like spices and evergreen. It's just anyway. That's what she kept saying. I didn't write it. I don't know what to tell you.
You didn't?
No, because it was garbage. It wasn't garbage. It was just very basic. It was basically the same as the one that I watched the other, last year, where she goes to wine country in Oregon and the winery is failing and magic of Christmas. This one, similar issues. Remember that one where she's like, oh, I'll just mix these bottles together and now I've made a vintage blend. It's
I'm actually really doing science.
I'm really doing it. I'm really actually doing science.
Yes, I remember that.
So this one, I made poor Brian watch it with me, and he then just spent the entirety of the movie on Wikipedia reading about ice wine. Turns out the entire plot is absolute nonsense.
Great.
Go figure.
They couldn't even get that right.
No, it's just insane. So basically, the plot is this big city Philadelphia sommelier goes home to her small town city.
I remember
New York.
you told me about it in the
right.
guessing game. Oh, right, but the audience doesn't know. I apologize. Continue.
Well, they should go watch that. But anyway,
go watch the guessing game, then you'll figure it out.
So when she goes home, the whole big thing is, and this really doesn't make any sense, but I'll try and explain it. Her godfather, her father is dead or something. Her godfather, who was like a father figure to her, whatever, he's retiring and he wants to move to Florida for the winters. He's going to be a snowbird. And she's very upset by this. She's trying to convince him to stay. And I'm like, this is all very selfish of you. Like, let him live his life, but whatever.
Also,
you hardly
live
come
in
back.
Philadelphia. Like, if
right?
you're having
Exactly.
to fly to see him anyway, you could just fly south and hey, it's warm.
But then they would miss the magic of the Christmas festival that he does. And of course, like, he handed it off to the committee and they've made changes and whatever. And it's not as magical as it once was. And she loves Christmas and everything about this is Christmas.
It's not as magical as she remembers from her childhood.
It was a lot. And everyone around, what was really hard was that everyone in the town was kind of just like, eh. And she's like, no, Christmas This is what the Christmas is about, and it's the most important. And I'm like, girl, I think you need to calm down. Like, it's not that serious. But apparently it was.
It was obviously
anyway.
Telltale for other things that were perhaps not going correct in her life.
Perhaps. I'm not sure what it was, but the control and anyway. He's retiring. Turns out they could only make ice wine because he was magic and could speak to the vines.
No.
It's unclear. But basically...
Is he Santa?
No. I thought it might happen, but no. So in reality, ice wine has to be harvested at 17 degrees Fahrenheit because it's cold enough, and they have 6 hours or whatever to do it, and they harvest all the grapes, and then they press them, and apparently at one point they poured a red one, which doesn't exist because you can't leave it on the skins because then you would get all of the water, and that's the whole point, is that it concentrates. The water freezes, but the sugars don't, so it concentrates all of the juice. Anyway.
That Brian was just inaccurate. Nope. That couldn't happen. No.
Yeah. But so basically, so in this movie, they're trying to figure out when the harvest is going to happen because they have to know when it's going to hit 17 degrees. And it's cool. There's a term for that. It's called meteorology. There's a science of weather forecasting.
Sure. Or, get a thermometer.
Right. Those things combined, But instead, there's this whole thing of he goes and it starts to get warmer. Then these chicory feathers show up, and then he eats the dirt, and the dirt has a certain taste when it's about to freeze. And I'm like, this is all nonsense.
Well, I would say nonsense, but as a sommelier, don't you think that she should be I want to learn about how you're smelling the chicory root to know that the thing and the whatever, wouldn't that be a sommelier thing to be certainly. I was there and I smelled the chicory.
Well, and the easier thing to do of this plot line, because then they bring in some guy who is going to determine, he's going to see if they can do it all year round. And
that was my question. No, because it's not always 17 degrees.
Well, so there's a few different things. So one, they were you can just freeze them after. You could harvest the grapes and then freeze them. But it's not like grapes grow year round. You can't...
Exactly.
They only grow once and then you harvest them. And then...
You harvest once a year.
Right.
During
now,
harvest.
in America, there's certain regulations. In Germany, they won't let you freeze it, period. You can't freeze grapes.
You can't make ice wine.
Unnaturally. No. Natural ice wine, yes.
Oh, you can't
frozen on the vine.
Got it.
I got it.
Some other places, they will do it mostly because you can control the yield better. But that's about it. But so they have this whole philosophical question in this movie about it's not really ice wine if you, and it's no, it's not, you're right. They won't let you call it that, and you can't call it ice wine, and this is a stupid conversation.
It's anyway, sparkling wine versus champagne.
But the year-round thing still doesn't make any sense. And then the solution that they have is that they're going to grow apple trees on this orchard vineyard as well, and they're going to make year-round ice cider, ice.
You don't grow apples year-round either. What's happening?
Thank you.
What's going on?
This doesn't make any sense.
The nitrogen, the dirt between apples and wine, I don't know if that would mix well. It might, but I don't know if that would. I feel like they need
I don't think they really grow in the same, although maybe
properties.
I don't know. I don't fucking know. But it doesn't matter because it was all bullshit nonsense, as we've established. But what would have made more sense was just to have it be he had the magic touch that gave it that Christmas in a bottle, right? If she keeps saying Christmas in a bottle, this ice wine is special because he has that magic Christmas touch, and all of the warmth and the love of Christmas, because he's Santa, goes in, right? But how are we going to replace him if he moves down to Florida? Well, she then takes over. He can just fly home
every year when it's 17 degrees, and then he doesn't have to be there year round.
Though that's true too. So she falls in love with the science guy.
Of course.
And they decide to both stay, and she's not going to be a sommelier in Philadelphia and take the promotion to lead sommelier for large restaurants, and instead she's going to live in this town and grow apples and grapes.
Doesn't sound great, I'm going to be honest.
It was not bad, but it wasn't wow, that was a good one. It was just
sure.
Yeah, I watched that. Wine.
Yeah.
I'll have
I like
some.
that you turned off a Christmas movie. Doesn't matter.
The acting was better. The production was much better. Like, you know, it was a pretty decent one. So, quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more, including Love Hard. Actually, I shouldn't say it like that. Love Hard. Yeah.
Love Hard.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm 29, and I play baseball. Hard.
Ooh. Yeah.
Love Hard. Yeah, you have to, really give it some oomph. So, I broke slightly with tradition and watched an older holiday movie that's not Hallmark, or it was just an old...
That's keeping you in tradition, Avaryl. Like, that's literally all...
It's keeping in my tradition, I suppose. Anyway, so I watched this movie called A Mom for Christmas, and Olivia Newton-John is in it. And it was this TV movie. And so I was watching it. Basically, it's like if Mannequin was a Christmas movie. Do you remember Mannequin? She came to life. Like she was a mannequin and then she came to life.
Yes.
So it's that.
I feel like I'm confusing it with Life Size, but...
Barbie that comes
Same
to life.
idea.
There's a lot, it's well-treaded territory, right? So, little girl whose mom died, she's in a department store because she likes to watch the daughters and moms shop together. And Doris Roberts she's the mom from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh.
And various things. She seems to be, I don't know, an elf. Not really, but she's magical, I guess. Or she seems to be able to know what people want or something. Oh. I don't know. She wields magic. She might be a witch. We're not really clear.
Put that on.
What?
Love it.
But the little girl gets a wish, and she wishes that she could have a mom for Christmas. And they're looking up at this beautiful mannequin and whatever. And suddenly, that night, Olivia Newton-John shows up. Oh, hi! And there's all these, funny, she's wearing a tag. And, oh, this is so weird that have your hair actually move when you move it. And all these things. She's cute. It's adorable. Pretty standard. But the reason I'm bringing this up is, do you know those scenes in movies that you watched as a kid that you remember it so completely vividly but have no memory of what movie it was from, but you have very specific details about it?
Was this one of them?
This was one of them! So I'm watching this movie I guess I might have seen this as a kid. I have no idea. I'm just okay, whatever. Forever, I had thought that this scene was from My Stepmother's an Alien, which is basically the same plot too. Oh, I wish I had a mom. Oh, she's an alien and now she's my mom. Oh, I wish I had a mom. She's a mannequin. Now she's my mom. So I had these very specific details. Oh, she has a magazine. She tries to recreate this tree that's in the magazine. They put candles as ornaments because they don't have ornaments. And then the house catches on fire. And...
Fire extinguisher!
So all of this is unfolding in front of my eyes, and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, it's this movie? This is the movie that it's from? Oh my gosh, it's coming back to me. And I was like, this is why I hate candles. This movie is why I don't like candles, because the tree goes up so quickly. The house is almost burned down. She's like, oh no, I'm a dumb mannequin. I don't know about things like fire. And they have to put the fire out. It's very dramatic for a TV movie. And anyway, it just came back to me and I was like, okay. I always thought this was Kim Basinger, but it wasn't. It was Olivia Newton-John in A Mom for Christmas. Anyway, it was cute. But
do you think now that you've had this experience, it'll unlock your trauma and maybe
about candles? You won't be...
No.
I don't know. I don't think so. Because the danger still exists. It's not
right. I was gonna say
it's not an irrational
fire danger
fear.
Is still extremely high. So
it's not like it's some sort of irrational fear of
right.
Oh no, I'm scared of dolls or something. It's no, fire is real and it burns your house down. So anyway, but it was an experience. I was like,
yeah, wow.
So that was exciting. Unlocked that childhood memory.
Love it.
Back when TV movies had stakes. She was also wearing a lot of sort of Pirates of Penzance, sexy off the shoulder, billowy sleeve numbers. That was exciting. Those were the highlights.
Great.
But mainly the candles. When I tell you how fast that tree went up in flames.
I'm not surprised.
At some point in the movie, talking about like TV movies being like fucked up and real, because all the other mannequins start to come to life, and one of them's a Santa Claus, and Santa just gets nailed by a car.
Walked out in front of me. He just...
Oh my God, this is very traumatizing. And then they do some sort of seance where they're all in a craft witch circle and they're resurrecting Santa. And I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this?
Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Come on, Santa. You can do it. Yeah, it was it's free on YouTube. Check it out. Maybe it'll unlock some childhood trauma that you experienced and forgot that you had watched.
Crazy. I love that.
We can move on.
Should we talk about Love Hard? So Love Hard, the Netflix original, they put it up and I was like, this looks stupid, bad, but then I watched it and I was like, oh, that was cute.
Yeah, I thought the cast was great. It's Nina Dobrev and Jimmy Yang, who was the best part of this movie. I mean...
He was great. Like, he really had the charisma.
Fantastic.
He, like, kept me in it. And, you know, there was a lot of things about this movie that I really liked. I thought that it was very clearly referential of Christmas movies, but, like, real ones, not of, like, Hallmark ones. I mean, that sounds so rude, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
it wasn't
theatrical
referencing
type.
TV Christmas movies. It was referencing pop culture. Oh, normal people know about Love Actually. You know, it wasn't.
Yes,
it wasn't as niche.
It took me far too long to realize that the title was Love Actually, his favorite Christmas movie, and Die Hard, her favorite Christmas movie. I don't know why that was, you know, so hard to get in there, but
well, up until recently, you had not seen Die Hard, so.
That is true.
It wasn't in your lexicon.
Maybe. I mean, they talked about it 10 times in the movie, but I just still didn't. It took a while for me to put it together. And I was like, that title doesn't make any sense. Oh, it does.
I thought it was really fun. You know, it was a modern day twist on Cyrano de Bergerac in a way. She's sort of a Miss Lonely Hearts writer who is living in LA. And she has disastrous date after disastrous date, and oh my gosh! And she finally meets.
Blog and whatever.
Yeah, you know, she finally meets, and her boss was annoying.
Your dating life is a disaster, but you should be thankful because it's why you have a job.
Well, I think the writing there was bad. You know, like that was not. You know, but.
And when he shows up at the end, it was like, what? No, it should have been her friend for whatever. Like, if someone needed to show up. On a whole, like, the writing was great, but basically she meets a guy that she finally thinks she can connect with on this dating app. They talk and talk and talk. It did a really fun, you know, You've Got Mail, we're sending letters of it all.
Yeah.
Falling in love over this app. And then he says, oh, I wish you were here for Christmas. And she says, I'm going to be crazy. I'm going to go fly out there and see him. And it turns out, I mean, don't do that. But the movie did a good job of being like, bitch, you're crazy. You should definitely do it. Like, they were like, this is nuts. Yes. But like, go for it, girl.
Yeah.
And so she gets to upstate New York, small town upstate New York. Turns out that the picture of the guy she's been talking to is not the, you know, visual that she was expecting. And, you know, she's been catfished, essentially. But of course, the actual guy of the actual picture is a guy who lives in town, and Jimmy Yang is like, I had my picture up forever, and no one was biting because people be shallow. It was essentially what they're saying.
Yes, although I did love the reveal of that.
Oh, that his pictures looked like he was crazy.
All your pictures, and it's like serial kill. It's like, here's him with an axe. Yeah.
But there was undertones of you're shallow, bitch.
Yeah, it was an interesting thing, right? Where it's like, oh, you're not the person that I thought you were, but also the person is the same. It's just visually they are not the same.
It's Cyrano de Bergerac.
Right.
You know, oh, I fell in love with you, your personality.
Yes.
But then
isn't that usually more puppet-y?
Well, it's a little more. Well, basically, Cyrano de Bergerac is like in whatever version you're talking about, is saying the words to the hot guy, so the hot guy can say all these romantic things to Roxanne.
That's what I meant, where it's like, you know, because this was kind of just like, well, here, you can go hook up with him, and then she lies to pretend like she's someone else.
There was a few too many farcical, oh no, we're in over her head, lying, oh, the big party, oh, the mom put the engagement in the newspaper, oh, we're engaged. Like it escalated to a point where I was like, this has gone too far. But I don't really care.
It doesn't really matter, so like, you know, whatever. Wasn't that cute? But yes, I agree, it was like a little too much. But overall, it was fun. I liked that it was some Asian representation in rom-coms, because I feel like there's not been nearly enough of that.
No, I mean, Always Be My Maybe, but which was also great, but like not a lot. There wasn't a lot. No, I thought it was fantastic. It was really fun, and I don't mean this as shade in any way. It was really fun seeing a normal-looking person in a rom-com.
Sure.
Like where I did kind of fall in love with him. He does help her kind of grow, and his personality makes him so much hotter in a way. I don't know. I thought they did a great job. And then when she's like climbing up that rock wall, and then he has to kind of go save her or whatever by like encouraging her.
I'm really scared, but you've got this. And I've got you. Okay? I promise.
All the stuff with the quote unquote hot guy was like, okay, now they're bobsledding. Oh, don't get high to go bobsledding. That seems like a really bad plan.
That's like how you die. I was shocked that they could just let random people go bobsled.
I didn't think that was a recreational thing.
Right?
You know, maybe like a ride
I'm just
along.
Gonna hop in a bobsled and
still, I feel you.
I don't know.
We've all seen Cool Runnings. We know.
Thank you.
We know. But when she was like, I'm so nervous about bobsledding, I'll just get high. I was like, oh no. That seems like a really bad idea.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of fun writing in it. You know, at some point they're singing, she's got a big problem with Baby It's Cold Outside. And that song is blah, blah, blah. Which, fine, fair enough. But when they could have do the remix of it or whatever. And
I thought they did a great job with this.
This evening has been totally consensual. Consensual. I can't talk apparently.
Evening has been
totally consensual.
There was a lot of fun stuff in this. I thought even though his brother character was completely a cartoon, it was kind of funny.
Yes. Owen seems psychotically into this.
Yeah. Yes.
But he was like,
look
at me. Mom, I'm the best. Oh my God, I'm singing. Look at me, I'm singing.
It was very stupid, but like it wasn't so dumb that I was like, this is garbage. It was like, okay, whatever, I'll let it slide. It was just enough that I was like, I'll let it slide. The candle stuff, the whole candle plot line was sweet about the grandfather and all of that, and was like,
they wrote characters that felt almost three-dimensional and mostly realized, and
particularly
I appreciated
it. But overall, yes, it was I liked it. I thought it was a good one.
I liked it a lot. Thought it was fun.
Yeah,
would recommend. So, another terrible Hallmark movie that I watched, Christmas Perfection. And this one was wacky. At first, it was bad. I was ready to turn it off. The main girl is just like, everything has to be perfect. I can't believe she's pushing everyone away. She's like the most intense A-type personality. Type A. Clearly, I am not. The most type A personality. Just like to the point where like she's got this little Christmas village and her best friend that clearly she's going to fall in love with but doesn't realize it yet, and he's just a doormat for her, is like, why don't we move the post office and put it here next to the street instead of over here? No, this is where it always goes. Ah! Her little like Christmas, she has like a Christmas village in her house, like a little...
Like a little toy, like a replica miniature village.
People have like Christmas villages where it's like, oh, and here's my little Christmas town. And they like have little, it's like tchotchkes, like little precious moments. Oh, and here's the post office, and here's the... People do that.
Love it. Great. Cool.
People do that. But she's like, no, this is how the town goes. It always has to be like this. Right. And you're like, girl.
Yeah. Maybe just glue it down then. I don't know.
I don't know, and the turkey has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect. And I'm running away like all of your friends and family. But then the wacky part starts. She's walking around the streets of Canada at 2 a.m. and there's this little, there's this like Christmas shop that's open and she's like, wow, you guys keep weird hours. And this like kind of kooky lady is like, yeah, we do. Don't you want to see the post? Because he breaks the post office and she's all pissed off. Get out of here. She was intense. She's going to buy a new one. Oh, thanks. Oh, I'm so excited. Whatever. Clearly the lady is some kind of witch or an elf or Santa. And she goes home and falls asleep and wakes up in her Christmas town.
Good. Of course.
Oh, and her...
Is the post office in the wrong place still?
No, because she puts the new one back
where it belonged.
Oh, because he's like, oh, can I live in this building? It's next to yours. And she's like, no, that's where the blah, blah, blah goes. And he's like, okay, girl, I was trying to flirt with you. Jesus Christ. But for reasons, for the plot to move forward, her mom is Irish. And so the whole town is a little Irish village, but also it's her Christmas village. So this is when the movie actually starts. And everyone, particularly the boyfriend's accents, not the friend, because he's not there for reasons that we find out later, but everyone else is there. His, I can't call it Irish, accent.
No.
Everyone's Irish here, yeah. Hello, gorgeous. Tom from work, like her boyfriend, Tom.
It was...
The horses, it really was, it was
very Matt Damon.
Ready to be saddled. Yeah.
Oh, the black powder.
The black powder. Yeah.
It was next level Matt Damon in The Great Wall.
The horses are saddled and waiting. Best we ride before nightfall. Believe me, I'm already thinking about trading him back for the powder.
But it was also some Christopher Walken.
Welcome to Ireland. My name's Tony Riley. I'm dead.
The whole thing was everyone in Wild Mountain Time. They were like, we got Irish.
Oh, hello, gorgeous.
Hey, Tom. Fancy meeting you here.
We always meet here.
I know, it was just never mind. Shall we go for a ride?
It was so incredibly bad, and every time he showed up, it was so bad that it really made me laugh. But anyway, it's Christmas every day there, and at first she's like, this is the best. Christmas is perfect. My parents are back together. We have waffles for breakfast. Nobody gains any calories. I get the, fabulous present, and they make a whole point of like, I can eat this because movie magic says that I won't gain any weight. And I was like, okay, movie. So, days start to go by and they're doing the same thing every day. And at first she's like, oh, this is so great. Like she's got her perfect boyfriend who's definitely Irish.
Like her boyfriend, Tom.
And they go on a horse-drawn carriage ride every afternoon. And then they go to the sweater factory and she gets to pick out a Christmas sweater that they're going to loom for her on the spot. I don't know.
Come on, Darcy. Let's get you that Christmas sweater.
And
do they remember? Does she remember every day?
She does. So it's basically Groundhog Day, Christmas in a Irish.
But he doesn't. Does everyone else remember?
Everyone else doesn't remember. Well, they kind of do, because at some point she starts to break the pattern of what is going on every day, and they're like, oh, usually you're out this time of day. I guess they're just drugged into a lulled sense of who cares? Like, they're just like, well, we're in this Christmas village, and we're here to make your Christmas perfect, woman.
It's like WandaVision.
Kind of, yes.
Actually.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yes.
What a missed opportunity for like a Christmas WandaVision special where it's just like the Christmas town.
Yes. That would have been great. So it's like moving along and she's starting to get kind of bored with it being Christmas every day. And then we come back to the real world where her best friend is like in reality and he's calling her on the phone and he's like, hey, are you still mad? I'm coming over. Oh my God. Like you're not answering your phone, blah, 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 blah. So at this point I'm like, oh my God. Is he going to let himself into her apartment and she's going to be like twitching on the floor, like comatosely, like vomiting, like white and red candy cane spit and just be like, or whatever. And I was like, yes, movie, yes. And then like he takes her to the hospital and he's like, oh no, Darcy. And it's like it like changes tones. Not the case. Oh. He also goes to the special Christmas shop that happens to be open and buys a figurine of himself. So then he gets to go and he shows up inside the Christmas village, but he is also experiencing it like she's experiencing it.
So then they fall in love, and it's like
So then
Palm
they fall in
Springs,
love.
but
They don't explode the... How did they have... They had to do like the big...
yeah, they had to send the
explosion.
goat in with the TNT to break the time-space continuum or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, this is just a collective delusion as usual.
Or Christmas magic. You don't know.
Or Christmas...
You don't know.
Or, you know, party drug-laced candies that came from a demonic advent calendar. Whatever. Totally normal stuff. So... They start to fall in love, but he's still kind of being like, you need to, you know, stop being so controlling and let me love you, basically. And it starts to get kind of surreal, and the walls of time, and he kind of like gets drawn out of the town because he realizes that he loves her and tells her.
Oh,
and
I thought you were going to say the cleaning lady was like moving the figurines around to dust.
Oh, see, now, like, that's the movie, what it should have been. Like, the movie should have gotten really dumb because at a certain point, like, it's Christmas town, right? So she can't curse. So she'll be like, oh, stocking stuffer. Nutmeg. And, like, it sort of was kind of funny. And, but, like, some of the dialogue was funny. Like, they had fun chemistry. It got better towards the end. The Irish accents never got any better. If anything, they got worse. And then, but then she does wake up. They have, like, a Christmas something, and she's Miss Christmas because they think that'll make her happy. Oh, because she gets all depressed in Christmas town, and they're like, oh, darling, what's wrong? And she's like, I just want a hamburger. So they're like, we'll you know, crown you Miss Christmas. And so she finally realizes, oh, I need to let go, and I actually love my best friend, and blah, 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 and all these realizations. And then she wakes up on the floor of her apartment still in the Miss Christmas dress. And I was like, okay, now what has happened, though? Like, what the actual fuck? And then her and her best friend.
That's stupid. It should have been that like her little figurine had a sash on it.
Yeah. Oh, that
painted on.
And then there's like a twinkle. Ding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Stupid.
She's like running around with like the Miss Christmas sash, like, Jacob! I forget his name. Oh my God, I love you. It was dumb.
That sounds like it. I mean, that sounds like a pretty fun one. You know, like not too much of a mess. But was that Mar Vista or no? Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
It did have a crossover moment with Snowman's where they're wandering to the edges of town, and suddenly there's like a shot where she just goes, oh my God, look at the deer!
I'm sure there... What?
What? No! Oh, look at that deer over there. It's not clearly uncopyrighted footage. We weren't just in the street and now we're in the woods. What? Made me laugh. He really got me. Anyway, that was Christmas perfection.
There you go.
Good,
Christmas perfection. I don't know what I mean, we could be in House of Gucci.
Christmas
perfection.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of bad performances, but great actors, should we talk about Return of Father Christmas?
I don't know what movie that is because what we watched was Father Christmas is Back, or what was it called? It was called Father Christmas is Back. Wow. No, but like Return of Father Christmas is a better title.
Thank you.
Okay. I didn't hate this movie. I didn't like it. I wasn't angry. It didn't make me angry. That's all I can say. I did not like it. I did not care for it.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
That's
so first
fine.
of all, okay, so Father Christmas is Back on Netflix. Is that not what it's called?
No, that is what it's called, but it's so dumb.
I know. On Netflix, I was like, this is a terrible title, but wait, Kelsey Grammer?
Kelsey Grammer, Elizabeth Hurley.
Elizabeth Hurley.
The guy from Love Actually, whose name I don't remember. Guy who goes to America in Love Actually. A bottle.
Yeah.
He's the husband in it.
Right. Who else? There was someone else in it. Oh,
John Cleese.
John Cleese. I was like, this is a cast. Okay, I'm in. Elizabeth Hurley drives up in it starts autoplane, and I see her in like a Rolls Royce and being all fabulous and cunty. I was like, okay, bitch, I'm in.
I think the reason I didn't hate this movie is because of Elizabeth Hurley. Because she shows up, tits are out for the boys.
Yep.
Out. Everything she's wearing is skin tight and fabulous. Every time she enters a scene, AC/DC starts playing and it's like, ba 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 na na. Like, it was just dumb. And I was like, here for this. Yes, Elizabeth Hurley, you look great. Remember when she was wearing all of the one sister who's a mess steals all of her luggage at some point? Did you get this far into the movie? She drives off in the Rolls. She drives off in the Rolls Royce with all of her clothes.
Yes.
And so I thought it was a fun beat that the next time we see Elizabeth Hurley, she's in children's pajamas, rocking them and looking fabulous. But they're like little dino pajamas, like thermals that are like all like capris and they're like short on her. And she's like, oh my God.
I love it. I missed that, but I love that. I love that.
It really made me laugh. No, I mean, it wasn't good, but it kept changing and it was weird and everyone was a mess. And I was like, now this is happening. Now this is happening. I can't say you should watch it. I can't say it's good, but I wasn't bored or angry. That's all I can say.
I very much was. Both
you
bored
turned it
and
off,
angry.
Right? You turned it off?
I turned it off. I was like, I just can't. It was so, the production value was awful. It looked like someone shot it on their phone and didn't even bother to color correct it. It was like, the directing was just so basic. Everything was awful. It was just like, what is going on? And then it was like Kelsey Grammer with, what's her face? Was his like girlfriend. Was it Kitty from Arrested Development?
No, it wasn't. April Bowlby.
Oh, I love your dinky little English accents. I feel like I've landed in Hogwarts.
I don't know who she is, but she was a fucking standout star. And she was giving me some like Julie Haggerty vibes. And I was like, wait, you're amazing. You should get cast in more things. That was where I landed on her. She looked vaguely familiar, but.
Drop Dead Diva.
See, I didn't watch that.
You should. It's great.
Great.
It can't be nonsense, I'm telling you. Maybe that's where I knew her from. I knew she seemed familiar.
There was moments of things that I enjoyed. On a whole, it's very bad. Don't watch it. But Elizabeth Hurley, I mean, every scene, she looked great and was fabulous. The sister who's obsessed with the Beatles was weird. I was like, okay, what's going on with you? This is weird. There was at least things happening. Like I said, I wasn't bored or angry. That's the only thing I can and Elizabeth Hurley and her girls.
That's the only thing I can say, because I can't say the other two things, but I can say Elizabeth Hurley and her girls.
You didn't get to this point, but at a certain point, they're building to, there's going to be like a school play or some shit. Talk about the production value and the directing and the editing being a disaster. So they're at the play and the fucking annoying kids are like, oh, where are they? I'm Jesus, whatever. I don't want to sing, Grandpa. I've never sung before. And Kelsey Grammer gives her a lecture. It's all right. Anyway, the editing, they keep cutting to random extras that we've never seen or met having huge emotional responses to this children's play. And it was hilarious.
When Mary and Joseph made their way to Bethlehem. It's okay. I sent them a text.
Because they were supposed to be like their parents, and it was like, oh my.
I have no idea. It seemed like, well, we didn't get enough coverage, so we'll just show this close-up of this extra having a huge emotional response to this child that's not theirs or presumably isn't theirs. I have no idea.
Have you booked a room in Bethlehem? Actually, the Nightingale.
So, yeah, don't watch it. But
don't watch it.
You know what? If you're at all intrigued, watch Elizabeth Hurley's entrance.
Yep.
Turn it off. You're good.
I think that's what autoplays anyway, so you could probably just watch that. So, quick commercial break, and we will be back with more Christmas movies, including the Christmas Switch. Princess Switch. God damn it.
It's not they do Switch at Christmas, but it is not a Christmas Switch. And actually, none of them are princesses anymore. Oh, no, wait. One of them is still said princess, and they have swatched. We'll get into it.
And we'll be right back.
So I watched one more that we talked about during our guessing game called Next Up Christmas.
Oh, right. With Christopher Lloyd.
With Christopher Lloyd and Leah Thompson shows up. She's the mom from Back to the Future.
Oh, cool.
So it was a fun.
Great.
They don't
That
have
makes
any
sense.
screen time together, but it was fun.
Love that.
And this one was cute. It was
Cool.
totally cute. Serviceable. The main actress was an actress. She conveyed emotion and humor and human qualities to me. And I
Wow.
was like, what is going on?
I have to tell somebody because... Wait a second. The train dropped me off here. Maybe that's a sign. I'm supposed to tell you.
Just blurt it out.
I'm from the future.
And you're here to terminate me?
Ben, be serious.
Her boyfriend looks like a little baby Adrian Grenier. And we talked about it in the guessing game, but basically she's a workaholic and can't make it home for the holidays, but she's FaceTiming and her parents have gotten divorced and she just feels really disconnected from her family and she's like, I don't want to go. And she's going to the train station to go home, like to her house, not to her family. And Christopher Lloyd is there and he's like, well, how do you do, little lady? Don't you? I don't know if he has that accent. He probably doesn't, but
Phones these days, tricky things. Not like the old days when phones just made calls.
Anyway, he gives her a magical train ticket, and it takes her 10 years back in time to when her ex-boyfriend now asked her to marry her, and, you know, she thinks, oh, I should have said yes and whatever, but she ends up kind of finding out that really she's sort of a selfish person who doesn't really talk to people about their problems. Like, she doesn't really pay attention to other people. Everything's kind of about her in...
Sure. Self-centered.
Self-centered kind of way, and she's like a doctor, so it's all that sort of like I am so important and stuff, but you still like her. You still like her, but
Sure,
she sort
but
of
there's
has
like
this,
a lot of ego and she's realizing
yes,
that.
and she realizes it and she starts to peel back the layers and be like, oh, I thought this time in my life had been perfect and that I was kind of striving for this, but actually the cracks in the foundation were already there. Anyway, long story short, you should watch it. It's cute. I won't give it away, but
Cool.
you know, you can kind of figure it out. But you know, Christopher Lloyd, magical train conductor, yes.
Love it.
The main actress was fun. Leigh Thompson was there. It was great. Would watch.
What
Would
else
recommend
did you
that
ask
one.
for?
It was cute.
Put Elizabeth Hurley and her girls in that, and you really got a movie.
Put Elizabeth Hurley and her girls in anything, honestly. I'm here for it.
Honestly. I love her.
Fabulous. Yeah, the main girl was giving me like Lizzie Kaplan vibes.
There hasn't been a tree there since 2011.
So, this year? Are you okay?
I'm not sure.
Oh, and we got a really good, of course, in this one.
Of course.
Which was
Wait,
fun.
really?
Of course.
Whenever
Okay,
I find them in these movies, I'm like, oh my God, they said it. They said it. Drink.
Of course.
Of course. Of course.
Of course.
If anyone says, of course,
Oh my God.
drink. Hello?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think it's time to talk about the Princess Switch 3 Romancing the Star. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And then it came on and I was like, wait, is it like Romancing the Stone? And it kind of was, but not quite. But, you know, it was more Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Anyway, I blame you for my viewing party drunkenness because I started playing the Christmas tree drinking game where it was like Christmas tree,
Oh,
Christmas
no.
tree, Christmas tree.
That's a mistake. That's a mistake. I wrote in my notes, oh, the Christmas tree motif is go strong. Christmas tree, Christmas tree, Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree, Christmas tree, Christmas tree, Christmas tree. Oh, for the love of God. Christmas tree, Christmas tree, Christmas tree, Christmas tree. Look, there's a secret one in the background. I mean, at this point, I should just film scenes where there aren't Christmas trees. Then there wouldn't be anything to film. Yeah. They kept it going. Well, so I'll say, Princess Switch 3, Romancing the Star. On a whole, the best of the Princess Switched movies?
Absolutely. Yeah, go figure.
Not bored.
No,
Campy
mostly.
at times. Self-aware enough.
Yep.
Fun, short.
It
It was
could have
okay.
been shorter. I would
They can
have
always
trimmed.
be shorter. They can always be shorter.
Right, 10 minutes maybe even. Like that was my only issue with it. Like it was fun. It's like this whole Bond thing. They're like, blue, dude, he's like, you know, works for the fucking CIA or whatever. The fucking laser beams, you know, all of it, nonsense. This is stupid and fun. Who cares? And then it was like, oh, my childhood trauma of like Christmas with my mom, and it really slowed down. I was just like, oh, they're doing another long monologue of like,
Turned on the
okay.
brakes at a certain point, and I was like, oh. Well, they took the only sort of fun, light character, which is the third twin, cousin
Fiona.
That they never explain. They never explain this. They have a different mother, but they look exactly the same.
I was so mad. Get ready for this idea that should have been in the movie. What's her name? The third cousin who's the fun one.
Fiona.
From the second movie, who shows up and she's Bob Fosse, Jazzy. The wacky one.
Jessie, it starts with like a...
Fiona.
Who cares? Who cares?
The wacky one, right? She's the cousin. The movie's all about her finding love and having a character arc and et cetera, et cetera. And throughout the whole movie, they keep alluding to this relationship with her mother and how it's strained and blah, blah, blah. But we never really see the mom, right? We never really see the actress, right? And I was like, I am so ready and excited for Vanessa Hudgens to show up in old lady makeup as the fourth twin. I was so, because they do this dramatic, like, it's her from behind and the mom turns around, and I was just like, oh, it's going to be so good, and that's the perfect way to introduce a fourth one. I'm so excited. Oh, shit. Wow. It was just the lady from Toast of London, which was exciting because I love her, but big disappointment. Huge.
Yeah. That would have been fun.
How fun would that have been?
I'm trying to remember. Like, maybe I thought of the same thing.
Or she's not. She's just Vanessa Hudgens because Christmas magic. And it's just, hey, I'm your mom. And we're twins also because these movies are dumb.
I do vaguely remember drunkenly thinking, oh, and it's going to be Vanessa Hudgens too. But maybe that was where it was. I don't remember.
I was
really
disappointed there wasn't a fourth one. I'll be honest.
Right?
Like a fourth twin. They'll probably make a fourth movie as well, but really disappointed. I thought this one was way more self-aware, and I thought Vanessa Hudgens had a lot more to do. And because honestly, they realized that the first princess that's now a queen and the baker are boring fucking characters and annoying. And both their spouses are milquetoast, boring, like the king guy disappears for half the movie. I was like, I'm fine with it. You guys are all so boring.
Are you on your way to the airport?
That's why I called. JFK is closed because of the weather. The chaperone says we might leave from Bradley.
Well, keep us posted.
Oh, I can't make it. I'm snowed in. I was like, shucks. Moving on. They sort of realized that every character they'd written for the first two movies was utter milquetoast shit, and so they were like, "We'll just put them over here. Just put those chess pieces over on this side, and we're really going to focus on."
Yeah. Now I remember what it was that I was hoping they were going to do, which they sort of did, but not quite, was when they were talking about like the laser thing. And he's like, no, it takes three. It's going to need a team of three. I was like, great. And all three of them will dress the same and they'll be interchangeable. And it's like, okay, they're over here. And this was it. But they didn't even do that. That was so weird. Why weren't they dressed the same? What was the point of that?
Because she was never going to be seen by the public, the Mission Impossible one.
But so then why did it matter at all?
Because she was the only one that was flexible enough to do the Catherine Zeta-Jones entrapment laser dance. Immediately, she was like,
yep,
I've got it.
I've got it.
Well, I got it. And I thought it was...
Could you do it again?
Yeah.
No, it would have been fabulous if all three of them were fucking trapezing and contortioning around all these laser beams working together. It would have been everything.
Exactly. They're all dressed in the same frickin' gown, and it's like, wait, which one's which? I don't fucking know. You know, it's like, ooh.
They've really missed a lot of opportunities with these movies with the fun of switching. It's always like, oh no, I have to switch because emotional and reasons, and now I have to be the queen and sit in on this boring concert because, and you're like, this is not what I want. I want Parent Trap. No. Give me Parent Trap. Quit this.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Now I have to go to this weird disciplinary tribunal the night before Christmas with the, what the fuck was that nonsense?
With the nuns at the whatever. I'm like, what is that? Mother Superior is like, what the fuck was that side plot? Oh my God. I know that she kidnapped me, but I'm going to pretend to be her to get her off because she's changed because love. I am so obsessed with, so the fun one, the cousins, like love interest, right?
Yeah.
I am so obsessed with how underwritten his character was.
Et voila. The Interpol case file.
Interpol?
I thought you left them.
That doesn't mean I've forgotten how to get around their firewalls.
He's just action man
guy.
who's tech and knows everything and has no reason to be doing this other than love.
Love. I love her. I will do anything. Oh my God. When they were in their little techie room and he's just like, ooh, tech things.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Exposition. Tech exposition.
Enhance.
Tech.
Enhance.
Yeah,
Enhance.
right? I was like, this is so stupid.
It was so-and-so. All of that nonsense was so good. His smartboard nonsense gobbledygook, I was cracking up. What is this? What's happening? What is this? Oh, but yes, so the basic plot is, well, it starts and they give you a recap, which I really appreciated because I was like, I don't remember shit about the first two movies.
Yeah, and it was quick, but it got it. I was like, oh, right, boring. Oh, that's what I was going to say too about the other ones. I feel like especially the second one was all about just like, oh,
the second
I'm
one
so
was
busy
awful.
doing queen things and like I have to do like why are we watching them do day-to-day boring meeting planning bullshit? Like this is such a waste of time
This is
for a movie.
supposed to be aspirational. This is like, being a queen is tough. And I'm like, I don't care.
I mean, there was a little of that in this one where I was like, why the fuck is a queen and a princess auditioning yodelers for a...
Maybe we put them after the yodeler?
Do we really need a yodeler?
Well, we don't want to offend the Swiss ambassador.
We don't want to offend anyone.
Nonsense. But yes, they get us in there quick. This happened, then that happened. When we switched places, I fell in love with so-and-so, and blah, 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 blah. And then
and there was no dad. The New Yorker dad. You know, I don't know what that was, but...
No, that's Christmas Prince, Andrew. That's Christmas Prince.
Amber.
Hey, Pop.
Amber. That's the other movie. That's the other one.
Didn't they show up? Someone from that showed up in this?
Don't you remember your old pal, Simon? From Aldovia?
Meow.
The Simon gay villain that we wrote a side plot for, Simon, was like, oh, at the party. And she was like, haven't we met before?
Yeah.
Good. They're keeping the Netflix CU.
Of course.
Of course.
But it starts and it's like a Ron Howard movie. There was Chirons aplenty. Now we're at the Moldrovia Palace. Now we're at the Genovian, this Discord. La, 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 la. It was like, it did not matter. They're at some palace. I don't give a shit. Well, the thing is, this plot initially feels a lot like they just took the script from Christmas Prince 3, A Royal Baby, and copy pasted.
The magical scroll is missing.
Oh, we've got this magical, ancient artifact. Oh, this magical Christmas star that the Pope lent to us for Christmas.
It was so stupid.
But it was locked up in this like hysterical cage of whatever.
Yeah.
And oh no, someone stole the magic Christmas star. Now I'm going to be blacklisted as a royal who can't handle anything. And the police are idiots. And when they all were in that room together and they were like, we should just start our own investigation. The police don't know what they're doing. I was like, what's this now?
The police are handling it.
They have no clues and no leads.
Wait, if the police don't have any leads, then it's up to us to come up with something they haven't thought of.
What's happening?
What? Thank you.
You know who knows a lot about crime?
Fiona.
That crazy, wacky cousin of ours. She'll know what to do. Oh, boy. So they get her out of a nunnery where she's doing community service for kidnapping the baker one.
Right.
But then her two annoying sidekicks went to prison?
Right?
But she
didn't because she felt bad because she was family. And I'm like, well...
Because the queen, I was like, whoa.
I hope you ain't still sore over our little mix-up last Christmas.
Mix-up?
Yeah.
You kidnapped me.
Okay.
It was clearly like the writers realized that they completely fucked up the second one.
The last one. Yeah.
And like didn't realize what was working and like ruined what could have been the future. So they were just like, oh no, we'll just walk it back. Walk it back.
Yep. Walk it back. Yep.
But
and now it can just be like, oh, what hijinks are the three of them going to get into this year?
I mean, it was basically just like Ocean's 11 Princess Switch. And I was here for it. Hey, they had a plan. They were doing stuff. They were heisting. Nobody had any motivation whatsoever, but I didn't really care. Remember when she, like, becomes Cruella de Vil and she's, like, walking through that winter garden with that huge dog and she's just, oh, and then she, like, cartoons through that hedge?
I laughed so loud, I had to rewind it and watch it again.
I did too, because it looks so stupid. It was so good. It was so dumb. I had the best time.
I can't want to watch it again.
Would you watch what you're saying?
You could have got us a toy.
Okay, I made myself popcorn and we're watching this again because this was absurd.
It was a cartoon. It was literally like, oh, and then there's a Vanessa Hudgens shape, in the hedge. It was insane. I loved, too, that they acknowledged more about, like, the switching of it all. Like, when I think the the queen has to pretend to be kooky cousin at the party. And she's like, okay, so here are all my wigs. And I was just like, you know what? Yes. Thank you. You're clearly wearing a wig. That's just your vibe. Yep. I love it. This wig, or you can wear this wig, or you can wear this wig. So she's teaching her how to be her, which is basically just pursing her lips and like Bob Fosse walking.
Yep.
And then like turning into Mae West.
Meow.
Right, yes, meow to you as well.
And that whole tango that they just know how to do, that was fun.
That was so stupid. I was like, what is this? It's like, freaking Addams Family Values meets True Lies. I wanted her to grab, instead of a rose, I wanted her to grab like a stick of holly or like mistletoe or something and put it between her teeth. Missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
I also still hate the prince character. He's so
the fucking
lame.
worst.
Has nothing to do.
The worst.
The baker and him are the only ones that aren't out on the mission when they get the call from Mother Superior at the community service convent that, oh no, her disciplinary meeting has been moved up and she has to come tonight.
And the prince goes and he's just like, hey,
but before that, the prince is like, I don't know if you should switch, honey. That might be too dangerous. I don't think you should. And I'm like, who is you? Get out of here.
No.
Well, maybe.
No. I know what you're thinking. No, absolutely not. It's out of the question.
But then he gets into it and is like, oh, I guess lying is okay. I hate him.
But also,
they should just all be widows and
we
can keep the Interpol hacker guy because he's
hacker
fun.
Guy.
But like the dad and the prince, I'm good. They could just be on permanent vacation.
Yeah. Well, plus the hacker guy is so construct that he'll just do whatever. He's just like bloop, cool. It was very bizarre where I think it was the prince like after they switched or whatever. And he's like, but what happened to those heels? Or something where it was like,
one of them was like, I liked you better the other way.
It was upsetting. It was weird, and I was like, this not right. Something's off.
Did you happen to keep those red heels?
Kevin.
So yeah, they have to steal back the star from not Elon Musk, who's her ex, because she is connected with all of the underworld of crime. And they get it back in time and everything's great. And then she, remembers her past trauma about lighting candles near Christmas trees and really releases her, to
she
forgive
makes peace
and love
with her
again.
Mom and they move forward. That's where it really slowed down for me. And I was just
slowed down.
The wine, everything was hitting at once. And I was just like...
And we're like, more scenes with the king and his daughter. Hey, honey, I was... I love that they literally were like, he's going to be driving to Denmark for the whole movie or whatever. He was like driving to go pick her up
I was like, he's
10 hours
fucking
away.
king. Why is he taking a car and driving himself for 8 hours? What are we talking about? Where's his helicopter?
It's his daughter. I like that he was gone. I was like, good, you're gone. You don't have
too.
to be here. Fuck. Can he take the prince with him? Get out of here.
Right.
I really think they missed an opportunity to have a fourth one. I just think they need to keep adding. It's multiplicity, and we just keep on adding. Well, and I will say, I thought that the costuming was memorable, let's say. I looked it up, and so the costumer's name is Eleanor Baker, and the only other noteworthy things, in my mind, that she has costumed for is 47 Meters Down and Spice World!
I love it! Oh my god, that's so random.
Isn't that weird?
Funny.
I would give Vanessa Hudgens credit that she did a really good job of playing three characters that then were that character playing the other character pretending to be
a woman, pretending to be a man, pretending to be a woman.
Ridiculous.
She had to do a lot of business and was carrying this movie on her back, and she succeeded.
She got that producer credit, though.
Yeah, she did.
Good for her. Speaking of money, though, they spent so much money on this movie. Like, did you just notice that it was like, oh, they had the helicopter, the Ferrari, and there was so much money spent in the production design of everything.
In some regards, but then we get to the smartboard scene, and you're like,
wow. The CGI budget, $5. Castle budget, on point. Christmas tree budget,
it was there.
8 digits.
Wig budget, costuming budget,
Yeah, they spent money. And I was like, good for you guys.
This was an improvement because I cannot stress enough how much I hated the second one.
Hated it. I hated it so much that I really didn't want to watch this one. I was like, I know. But no, it was fun.
Cheers to part one of our shitty Christmas movie special. We'll be joining you
there's a lot more to come.
There's a lot more to come.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Cheers.
Cheers.